Okay, SMX medical update. We have good news for everyone. We're not breaking down a fresh new injury from the racetrack. That's good news. But what is also happening as JT and I keep focusing on the championship pressure, and this is the end of that long season that everyone talks about in January of Anaheim, and then it just starts again with Pro Motocross, SMX. This is a lot of load mentally on the rider. So, Dr. Joe McGinley, you actually want to talk about the sports psychology side of the game this week.
Yeah, again, this is an important topic. And just to be clear, I'm not a sports psychologist, but we deal with a lot of pro athletes, and we recommend it for most, if not all, of our athletes that come in. And yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It's a long season. This is a championship series that continues throughout to the summer. We're going to enter into the motocross season and then the SMX finals. Everyone starts in January refreshed, right? They gone through training, they got a lot of sleep, they got a lot of rest. That adrenaline's there, so everyone's fresh and ready to go in January when the season starts. And now, we've been through the grind. They've been traveling across the country for several months, sleeping in hotels, sleeping in RVs, different time zones, different food, different nutrition. All that starts to add up, and we're going to start to see that at the peak as we transition from Supercross into motocross in the coming weeks.
This is a really good thing because you think about the pressure these kids are under, that they're teenagers, and everyone around them, they don't understand what they're going through, right? They're living a relatively stress-free life. Everybody's dealing with their things, but these kids are under a lot of pressure. The expectation of the sacrifices their families made, the teams that are investing in them. Have you run into anybody where they're like, yeah, I don't necessarily think that's for me. Like I'm fine. I don't need a sports psychologist, and kind of unwinding maybe the bad connotation around that.
Yeah, if someone is not using a coach or sports psychologist for this particular reason, they'll sort of look at you sideways when you first bring it up. And just to be clear, this is not a psychiatrist. This is a psychologist. So, it doesn't mean that you're crazy. Sports psychologist is a tool just like anything else you use as an athlete, whether it's a nutritionist, whether it's your strength coach, whether it's your endurance coach, whether it's your riding coach. Any of those key components are what makes you successful. Your mind and mental condition is just as important as your physical conditioning. And sports psychologists, they're trained to help sort that out. Most teenagers or kids in their 20s, they're not under the pressure that all these elite athletes are under, right? I mean, they're traveling all the time. They're, at fan fest, they're signing autographs, they're dealing with the race teams, their sponsors. Then they have to go out there and compete at the highest level on some of the most technical tracks in the world. That's quite a bit for someone of that age. And, a sports psychologist helps to sort that out and helps to focus the athlete on, performing, and then we'll work with them on all these other stresses. They may not even know that it's interfering with their training or racing program. And a sports psychologist can help sort that out and compartmentalize it and say, these are the stressors in your life. How do we address those? How do we get you prepared mentally that when you line up on that gate, you're not worried about, what your friends are doing that weekend or, anything else. You're worried about that gate dropping and competing and doing your best out there. So it is actually a benefit, but you're right, JT. Initially, if someone's not familiar with this, they'll look at you funny, and you have to explain it and go through in detail to make sure that they're aware this is a key component of success of elite athletes.
Always good to hear our athletes getting healthier in every way they possibly can. And great to not discuss new injuries this week. So we'll talk to you next time. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, guys.